in the administration is so phenomenal that even Republicans have circulated an internal memo listing all the possible areas Democrats might investigate if they retake the House. It includes such things as the president's tax returns, emoluments violations, dismissal of EPA board members, the family separation policy, and the hurricane response in Puerto Rico that left 3,000 Americans dead. Meanwhile, the possibility of a blue wave this November is real, since according to the Cook Political Report, Democrats overperformed by an average of 8 or 9% in special elections. An energized Democratic base has resulted in a record-breaking number of women running for office. To walk us through the political landscape Democrats are facing, let's bring in MSNBC national political correspondent Steve Kornacki. Steve, what's the battleground look like?
Yeah, well, I mean, so that's an interesting way to start when you talk about the special elections and those giant gains Democrats have been posting. Here's the big difference now that we're talking about November. Not open seats in a lot of cases, a lot of incumbents, and you start looking potentially for Republicans at an advantage that comes with incumbency. So 23 is the target, the magic number for Democrats. They need to net 23, a gain of 23. And you say there are 25 Republican-held seats right now in districts that already went for Hillary Clinton. So this is sort of the first line of attack for Democrats. It would be logical that this will probably be the heart of their gains this November. But take a closer look. I say incumbency. Incumbency can change the nature of some of these races. The type of Democratic challenger that emerges does too. And guess what? Folks are so into the midterms right now that a really high-quality pollster, Monmouth, has actually been polling some of these individual races. So we're starting to see a little bit of this. There's going to be three here I want to focus on. Number one is Barbara Comstock. This is Northern Virginia. This is a district Clinton didn't just win. Clinton won it by 10 points. One of the most vulnerable Republicans in the country right there. Another, Philadelphia suburbs, Brian Fitzpatrick. And another one out in the West Coast, Dana Rohrabacher out in California. We got three polls pretty recently from Monmouth on these races. Let's take a look at what it's showing. Number one, this is Comstock. This matches up with exactly what you'd expect. A district that has surged hard towards the Democrats really over the last couple decades, and especially in the Trump era. Here's an incumbent running under 40%, double digits down. This confirms the thinking that Barbara Comstock may be the single most vulnerable Republican up this year. That is exactly what Democrats are hoping for in a district like that. Here's where it starts to get a little bit more tricky. Now you're in the 48th district of California. Here's a district Hillary Clinton won by 2 points in 2016. Here's a district where the Democrats are up. The lead is 3. It's pretty much matching what Hillary Clinton got there. Dana Rohrabacher, he's got his own baggage as well. We say these incumbents. You know, Dana Rohrabacher, very controversial. His ties to Russia, comments about Russia, that sort of thing. So Rohrabacher's sort of on his own right, a very individual presence in that district. Democrats encouraged by this, but Rohrabacher's still in the game. Then there's this. How about this? In Pennsylvania, in the Philadelphia suburbs, another Clinton district here. Hillary Clinton won this district. Look at this, though. The Republican incumbent running 7 points ahead of the Democrat. And why is this? This Democratic challenger who emerged, a lot of folks looking at it saying this may not be a good match for this district. Doesn't really have any local ties. Doesn't have much of a record of voting in the district. And look at this, the incumbent there right now going into this with an advantage. So just because they're Clinton districts, that is the first line of attack for Democrats, but that doesn't mean they're all going to match up with what you saw in 2016. But you get beyond those, I can tell you, these 23, how about this? There's another 36 seats. 36 seats you could add to this where Trump won, but the margin was single digits. So that could be opportunity there for Democrats. And there are some wild cards on the board, too. I just want to mention this quickly. Things that you cannot look at the 2016 election and say would be in play in 2018 and yet are. I'll give you an example. The 3rd District of West Virginia, kind of buried there by that head, but the 3rd District of West Virginia, southern West Virginia, used to be, a generation ago, Democratic stronghold. It really loves Trump. It went for him by 50 points. But guess what? Is an open seat there. And check out this poll. Richard Ojeda,
wow.
Trump voter, certainly with the Sanders wing of the party. He says he's turned on Trump, running as a Democrat for an open seat. And again, you take